I'm the series producer of Devil Island, and I've been working on the project now for about 3.5 years. I guess one of the great things about making natural history programs is that you are telling a story about the world of animals and also the world of the environment. And in the case of this particular story, I guess at its heart is a story about an animal that is really in jeopardy.
I'm the writer-director of Devil Island, and my role is essentially to supervise the creative aspect of the production, to make sure that we're telling the story and to make sure that we're shooting what we need to shoot. We're just downloading rushes today. We had a very big day. It was the day of the Devil release on Maria Island, and we had many cameras rolling simultaneously. Well, we had 2 EX3s going, Panasonic VariCam, a Sony 700. We had 2 GoPros, 4 infrared cameras, plus a Sony F3. There must be about 10 cameras going at least. My role also requires a bit of multitasking, and I'll also be following the production right through the edit.
It's time for the Devils to train together in a large enclosure.
Difference between sort of cutting drama or other documentaries as opposed to natural history, animal documentaries, is you cut a lot more on action, on the movement of an animal. A close-up of the devil's head, it moves its head, it gives you an opportunity then to get a shot when it's out wider, the movement looks smooth. Good things about animals is they're moving all the time. Strange enough, the animals don't always do what you'd like them to do, and when they do it, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's been caught on film. So it's always a bit of a sweep through the footage to sort of try and find the stories which are happening in there.
In the early days of the edit, we put cards on the wall. Each card was a scene. It means that at a glance, you know exactly where you are. You can have all of you in the room. You can have the director, the editor, the producer, and you can actually see really quickly which scene follows which scene.
I think there was around about 30 different versions of episode 1 before we finally got the version that we're all happy with. Oh God, episode 1.
My job on Devil Island is to do all the sound post-production, which basically means getting the elements from the edit, finessing all the dialogue and creating all the little Foley sounds, which is how we make the wildlife come to life. A soundtrack for a television documentary has to balance a number of elements. Obviously you have the music, which is giving you certain emotional cues. At the same time, we use atmosphere and other sound effects to give naturalism, realism, but also to stitch an edited scene so it seems like it's all happening at the same time.
Wombats can run at 40 kilometres per hour until the danger is seen off.
This particular initiative of taking a group of captive reared devils and releasing them onto an island to see whether or not they can learn to be wild is probably a story that I think will fascinate audiences right around the world. And I think people will be interested to see what the success rate is of an initiative like this, to see whether or not a captive reared animal can actually successfully be released into the wild and learn how to survive and to mate and to breed. And I guess that for me was, one of the reasons I got interested in the idea initially. And I think we've managed to tell that story pretty well.